Hello?
Since you guys really enjoyed the last travel budgeting video I did for what I spent during a week in Hawaii, I figured I would do the same for my Iceland trip that I took in August with Kara and Hannah. We did a 4-day road trip and we rented a camper van and saw as much as we possibly could in those 4 days. It was a super last minute trip and we booked it because I really wanted to hit 25 countries before I turned 25. It ended up working out amazing. It was one of my favorite trips in the entire world. So if you ever have a desire to go to Iceland, book it, you'll figure it out later. And honestly, doing the math made me realize how much of an affordable trip this is. I don't know why I thought I would be finished shooting in the daytime. The math that I had to do for this video ended up taking me until the sun went down. If you guys are watching this, that means that my jacket line is officially launched and you can go shop the first drop. Just go to buylanefable.com. But back to Iceland. Just to preface this, we didn't get to do like the full ring or the full circle. I honestly forget what they call it, but we just did what we all kind of had on our bucket list. We just wanted to see as much as we possibly could in the short amount of time we had. It was like four days. We made it a long weekend. Let's just talk about the money. While it was only 4 days, that helped make it super affordable. And I remember everyone telling me Iceland is gonna be so expensive and the gas is so expensive and the food is so expensive. But we, I think, found the best way to travel around Iceland. It was a direct flight, which was amazing because we had such a short amount of time there. We, I think, booked it end of July maybe, and the trip was in August. We definitely did not book it in advance and we found a very cheap flight, which was $495.60 round trip. I used points for my credit card like I do with most trips, which really helps the budgeting. I used 22,000 points, which equates to $330. So I only spent $165.60 for my flight, which honestly, a round trip flight for under $200 is unheard of. And while I know the value was closer to $500, if you utilize your credit cards and your points and your rewards, it really can make a difference when budgeting for a trip. Next, obviously, we had to rent a camper van because that was how we were going to get around Iceland. You need to rent a car. I really think that's the best way to do it unless you're gonna hire tour guides everywhere. And we decided to do a camper van because we didn't want to spend time checking in and out of Airbnbs or hotels. And we just wanted to be there and see as much as we can, sleep, wake up, eat, sometimes all in the same spot. And it was one of the coolest experiences. If you haven't seen those vlogs, you should definitely go check them out. They're some of my favorite. I really took a little bit more time editing them and I think you can tell that. The camper van we rented from Cuckoo Campers, highly recommend them. Their entire company was so professional and kind at the same time. The total for the 4 days was $842.14. So when you divide that by 3, it's $280.17 each. And I think honestly, you can't fit more than 3 people, and we're pretty tiny girls in that camper van. You definitely would need to go bigger if you have more than 3 people, and if any of you guys are like big, muscular people. We took a bus from the airport. Honestly, in my notes, I don't remember what this charge is from, if it was to the airport from dropping the van off or the other way around, but I know there was a charge on there for $36.66, which was divided by 3, $12.22 each for the airport bus. Next is one of the pricier things, but when you divide it between people, because we're all using it, it wasn't that bad. Gas. So gas in Iceland is insane because they have to ship it all there. So I understand why it is so expensive, but it definitely was a lot. We were only there for 4 days, but we drove a ton. It was worth it and a necessity. Our first fill up was $82.41, and our second fill up was $45.70. So it's $128.11 divided by 3 people, $42.70 each, which if you think about it, really is not that bad. It's a big van, it's taking a lot. It has the heater for you at night and everything, so all of that gas is being put to good use. Our next expense were the campsites we stayed at. Now, we only paid for 2 of the nights, I think, or maybe 3 nights of the campsites. And then one night we just kind of pulled off on the side of the road and parked, which I do believe is illegal, but we didn't get caught. So we saved a little bit of money that way, but I'm not condoning it in case you get pulled over and in trouble or whatever while you're in Iceland. Our first campsite was $40.75 for the 3 of us. I don't remember how that's broken down, whether it's like per person, per parking spot, but that was the total. And then our second campsite at, I remember Vic camping, which was absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend it. In the vlogs, you'll see it was one of the most beautiful places we've ever slept and woke up. Although they do have communal showers, so that was definitely a trip. But that was $50. So total it was $90.75. Divided by 3, $30.25 each. Next is something that you probably can save money on, but me, as you guys know, I love food. I love to eat. And another thing about Iceland is they say that the food is so expensive. We definitely didn't skimp out. We ate out some places and grabbed snacks like as we drove around. But for the most part, we did a big grocery shop in the beginning, and that would be our lunch and breakfast for each day. So, and dinner actually. We would cook at the campsites, which is an incredible way to go. And our cuckoo camper actually came with a little stove, which we used to make like paninis or sandwiches and hot dogs for breakfast one morning. A bunch of weird stuff, but I would not change anything about that trip. Go rewatch the vlogs after this just to relive it. But so for food, our groceries totaled to $130.36. We went grocery shopping twice. Our dining out expenses totaled to $224.59. So altogether that is $354.95, which totaled to $118.32 each. So it was definitely more expensive than if we were food shopping at home and cooking at home, but Iceland, it's an island up in the middle of nowhere, so that is what you get. There are a few places that we went out to eat that were a little expensive, but I highly recommend, like the tomato farm we went to, I'm forgetting the name, but if you go back to the vlogs or the blog post, oh my gosh, that was one of the best meals, and it's all you can eat. You just keep going back up. So that was worth whatever price we ended up paying. But you guys know me, I will spend just about all my money on food. I never regret money spent on travel or good food. That is a way that you can cut out if you want to budget a little bit less. Or you can just eat less, which I could never do. We really only did one excursion, I think. Everything else was pretty much free. We were just in nature, like going to the glacier. I jumped in that ice cold glacial water. That was crazy, but also the best adrenaline rush I've ever had. So, well, one of the best adrenaline rushes I've ever had. Skydiving kind of takes the cake, I think. The only excursion we paid for was snorkeling in between the tectonic plates. Highly recommend that in Silfra. Another vlog that I'll probably be rewatching once a month, every day until I die. That was a total of $383, and then $6.11 for parking. The total was $389.11, divided by 3, $129.70 each. Next is something that I feel like, this is only the second budgeting video I've made for traveling, but I know that every trip I go on, I always overspend in this category. And I justify it as I'm buying gifts for people. I want to bring something back for the people I love and that aren't here with me. And I end up overspending. And this is a way that you absolutely can save money. Chances are the souvenirs I've brought back, people do enjoy and appreciate. But at the end of the day, I know that some of the things I've gotten my mom and everything, they're just, you know, I didn't really need to get them, but I did. Adding on to that, I bought gifts at the worst possible place. I bought them at a souvenir shop outside of one of the most beautiful, just thinking about this makes me so angry, the most beautiful waterfalls. And I should have known that it was gonna be like jacked up, and I didn't know the conversion of US dollar to the money in Iceland whatsoever. So I just picked out what I wanted. I was like, I'm gonna get them for my aunt, uncle, Kevin, his family, my parents, blah, 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 whatever. I ended up spending $100 on salt. And like, not, like, it was fancy salt. One was volcanic salt, one was Icelandic herb salt, but still, just $100 to $110 on salt, unnecessary. So right there, you can probably cut that off of your budgeting, because you won't be as ridiculous as me unless you go and buy other souvenirs, because they were crazy expensive. I think Hannah bought this little adorable stuffed animal puffin, and it was something stupid like $25. And then I bought a sweatshirt for Kevin, which was $56.50, so total $156.50 for gifts. One day I will go on a trip and not overdo it. That being said, if I did all of my math right on this Iceland trip, the total for 4 days in our camper van excursion through Iceland was $936 a person. Overall, for 4 days, I think that is expensive, but the reality of it is the things on the island of Iceland are very expensive, and comparing this to a full week in Hawaii, while I was with 9 people on that trip and only 3 people this trip, it's still much more affordable to do 4 days in Iceland over 7 days in Hawaii from New York. So but it's kind of apples to oranges. I don't want to compare it that way, but it's the only other travel budgeting video I've done, so I kind of do that by default. Let me know in the comments if you think that $936 for the excursion, and if you've seen the vlogs, you know everything we do. But let me know if you think that $936 for a trip to Iceland for 4 days roughly is a lot, or you think that it is feasible with everything included, from the van, food, gas, little things we bought along the way. And come to think of it, I might have spent a little bit more because I'm sure not everything was put into Splitwise. I know I bought like ice cream separately. So realistically, I could probably inflate it to like $950 or maybe even more than that if I bought my own things places. But for the most part, we kept this whole trip in Splitwise. And if you don't know the app, it's not sponsored, but I swear by it when traveling with a group, even if you're just out to dinner and you want to split it. And then you have the records of everything too, which is nice because I'm pretty disorganized when it comes to that and I'm trying to get better at it. So Splitwise definitely helps with budgeting and who owes who what. And you can settle up with Venmo at the end, which is the best because I miss that trip so much. But if you guys have any other trips that you'd like me to do this little new series for, let me know in the comments. I'll do the math for you guys, although me and math are not the best together. I can't recommend staying in a van enough. I never thought that I'd be somebody who would be able to travel in a van and be okay with it, but having your clothes and everything all in one place, and even our food sometimes, it was just so nice, and it was a completely different experience than I've had with any other trip. So highly, highly recommend. If you haven't yet, go watch those vlogs. And if you want to check out my jackets that I just launched, I think I should make a separate video just for that, but I'm so swamped that I haven't even done that yet. Anyways, I love you guys. I will see you in my next video. And if you made it this far, leave the little angel emoji in the comments. You know, the little baby one that looks like this on my earring? The little angel face with wings. It's my current favorite. Also, make sure to check out the podcast if you haven't. And if you are on an iPhone, go leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It would help so much. Love you guys. See you in my next video.
No one cares.